Hi, Sally here, and today I am going to be working on my one little word project. I have signed up for this for 2023 and I'm working on my March prompt, and I had watched SBC Fest and was very inspired and wanted to try a few of the things that I saw on there. And Diane Raveley showed a process of doing, what was it? Collage. And so I really liked a lot of the things that she did, and so I wanted to try it out. So this is going to be my thing. I'm going to have a picture with a little flip out here, and then some more insides and fold outs, and then the back. So I want to do some mixed media, and so I'm going to start off on this side, and I don't know, blues or greens. Let's go with this color. So what she did was she put some paint down and then painted with a baby wipe. So this is just a folk art paint set that I bought at Walmart. I just wanted to get something where I didn't have to pay for shipping. So she just used a teeny bit. And this is some watercolor paper. So I'm going to get my baby wipe out. Well, it's not actually a baby wipe. I hope this works because they are cleaning and disinfecting wipes. So hopefully it will do the same. So she just kind of wadded it up like that. Got some on the baby wipe and just started adding color. Oh, my baby wipe's a little bit dry. And maybe her paints are a little bit better than these ones that I bought. I'm sure they are. There we go. If I push harder, it works a little bit. Let's spread that out. Wow, that dries really fast. So, her things that she did, most of this got covered up, but I think a lot of mine is going to show. So I think I want a little bit more down in this corner. Just another teeny drop of paint. And add some into here. Maybe if I don't, there we go. If I don't push down as hard right off the bat, might work out better. And this is going to be in my hinge, in my binding, so I'm not going to do over here. Okay, so then she added another color. Let's see, maybe this, no. No. Yellow? Maybe yellow? Let's try yellow. Okay. Nope. Well, maybe I should shake you up. All right, I think I'm all mixed up now. This one's a lot more liquid. So I think I just want to accent. Maybe if I go some different directions. Okay, well, that looks like a mess, but I hope in the end it will all come together. So I think I'll let that dry for a minute and then I'll move on to trying something else. All right, I got my wipe a little bit more wet. I'm not sure how I like it being so heavy right there. Well, that's not moving it at all. It is dry, dry, dry. Okay, well, just remember that, I guess. Although I do want something right here is not very much paint. Add at least a little bit of color in there. There, okay. Now I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll try some stenciling. All right, I think I'm dry enough to move on. So I have a bunch of Tim Holtz stencils. I've got one full size with lace that I like. And then I have these mini ones that I kind of like. And I also have one from Casey's Parlor that I like and one from Hero Arts. That would be fun. So I definitely want this one. Now she talked about doing a triangle. So if you do any sort of triangle shape, it looks pleasing. So I'm gonna just start up here with this one. She used paint with the foam blender and I'm gonna use my Distress Oxides, I think. This is Cracked Pistachio. We'll see how that looks. And she said to do a background, you want to just do really light instead of doing, you know, hard and going over it many times. So she just went over it really lightly, one pass. Okay, and then she did it in another place. Let's try it. Oop, don't want to put it in the paint. Let's try just going over this big portion. I can't help myself. I had to go over it more than once. And yeah, that is very subtle. And let's just go in the corner here. Okay, I like it. So let's do, I also picked out Wild Honey, and let's do something. Let's do these squiggly lines. And she just kind of went near or kind of on top of her first stenciling. And it's very subtle, which is what you want for a background. You don't necessarily need it to be the star of the show. Let's go above. Kind of right there. There. Well, that one showed up more. Okay. I think I want a third thing, but I'm trying to decide if I want to try some modeling paste through a stencil. And I was thinking of coloring it. I have these Hero Arts liquid watercolors. So I wonder if that pink would look nice. So I think it's pink. It'll be pink with it mixed with white, I believe. All right, let's use this kind of cobblestone-y one. And we'll kind of still keep to our three areas, maybe right here. We'll add some through our stencil. This will probably be less background-ish and more of a foreground kind of thing. So we'll try to keep it small. Yeah, definitely stands out. I think I put too much right there too. Okay, let's add some up here. Gosh, you kind of have to push hard to get it to go in. And then put some right at the bottom. Okay, I think it looks all right. So I'm gonna wash these off while this dries and then come back to finish the page. Okay, I got impatient and used my heat tool to dry the texture paste. But it kind of made my paper kind of warpy, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna glue this down. This was a digital from the kit, and so I just cut out the center and then glued the back picture down and then made these two small enough to fit inside. So I'm just gonna glue it straight down. Looks pretty good. So I've got these Posca paint pens, and I think just not very happy with this pink. Wish I hadn't done that. Wish I would have colored it maybe with this orange, or I don't know. It's very distracting. But let's use white. And I want to outline, just outline the frame. This is apricot. So I think I'm gonna do like maybe just kind of a squiggly line all around the frame. Okay, so I also have all of these watercolor, and I think, I don't know how this will look on the white. So I'm going to try this antique. Let's test it on the side here. Oh yeah, you can't even see it. I don't know if it's because it's not activating. It's too dry. Yeah, I don't think that will work very well. Okay, new plan. That's something dark, so I think I'll just go for a black. And I think I'm just gonna kind of paint a line around. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. As far as the mixed media goes. Okay, now I wanted to add a little tab right there. So in the kits, I did sign up to get the mini kits. She had a lot of these circles that are like, I don't know, I don't know, thick plastic, basically. So I thought that would make a cute turny thing. Actually, I think I just like the flowers. Use the pink one to pull in the pink, and I'm just gonna staple it on there. I just have one. I was thinking of backing it with another one, but I think that looks fine with just one. And let me think. Maybe I don't want to do that. Stapler. Ooh, slippery. Get some double-sided tape. All right, I have about 1 million of these glue dots, so I thought that would be a good choice. And I can put it right behind the gold foil so you can't really see it. And they're pretty flat, so I think that will work out pretty good. It is a little bit bigger than the foil. I'll just put it on from the back and hopefully it won't be too noticeable. Let's see, I want to make sure all of the glue dot is on the photo. There. Okay, so now I can use that to flip the page. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to call that good. Okay, not used to putting that much stuff on a page. Usually I do things pretty simply. Okay, so now let me clear off a little bit and get back to it. All right, so I'm ready to work on the inside. So I've got all of this that's kind of going to be one spread. I'll just kind of do the same thing that I did on the outside. More paint, but I'm going to do it a little bit with a lighter hand. I think instead of texture paste, I forgot that I wanted to try out some spray inks. So I bought the Distress Oxide of Lost Shadow. So I've never really used sprays much. So we'll see how this goes. But I thought this would be a lot more subtle than that pink. Anyway, I'm gonna clean up and then come back. All right, I think what I want to do is maybe spritz this a little, some water, maybe drop it in my hand and then kind of drop it that way. I just want to see what it will do. I don't think it'll do anything on the paint, but I would like it to have a little bit more distressed look. Get that oxidized look. Maybe I'll try just kind of, that makes very big drops. I'll just shake it from my hand. Okay. I think I'll blot this paper towel and see what we get. Oh, we've got a lot of movement over here. All right, not a lot of difference, but a little bit. I definitely like the more subtle look of this spray with the Lost Shadow than I do the pink texture paste. I think that just stands out too much. All right, so there is my background. So what I have is a conversation with my word, which is worthy. And so I've typed it up with a typewriter font, and I was going to glue it onto the pages with some pictures in the background of things in nature and things that have helped me feel like I am worthy by seeing neat things like this cool bird's nest, a rainbow, which I tried to make darker, but I just couldn't, and a neat horseshoe crab. This little, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a turtle there on a pond I saw. And, oh, this really doesn't show up. Darn it. But I was at the temple and there was the moon with a star lined right up, which did not come out in the picture, but it was a beautiful sunset, and it was just made me feel very peaceful and loved, and just the ocean. And this we were driving away from the Kennedy Space Center, and there's this canal along the road, and there was lots of alligators in it. And so I had really wanted to see alligators in the wild, but we were driving kind of fast, so I just included this to show that I was able to see what I wanted to see. And so I just kind of wanted to scatter the pictures around and put my conversation kind of on top of it. And then I have this side by side that I cut out on my Cricut. This was also a digital. I don't know where my dots went. I hope I can find them. Anyway, there's one. So that is my plan. So I'm just gonna glue everything down and then come back and show you how it looks. All right, I actually am not going to glue everything down yet. I forgot that I have these flaps. I don't want to glue everything down and ruin the pictures, so I wanted things to kind of, you know, look good, you know, when the flaps were closed. And so I'm gonna, I guess, do the same thing on these flaps. Out here I have some butterfly pictures that I took at Flower and Garden, not the caterpillar. They didn't have caterpillars, but they had a butterfly, like a tent you could go in to see butterflies. So they had a bunch of chrysalises that were turning into butterflies, and they had a ton of butterflies flying around, and then they had a photographer that did this magic shot. And then I have this neat quote about a butterfly. And so I cut this frame on my Cricut. So I want these kind of overlapping like this, and then these butterfly pictures like that. So that is my plan. So I will just basically do the same thing on the flaps. And I'm thinking of adding magnets because this is watercolor paper, so I don't think it's gonna stay down very well. So I'm thinking of adding magnets. I could just, you know, put one underneath a photo on this side, and, oh, well, I could put it on this, like put one of these pictures down and, you know, make sure there's one there for the magnet. I think that's what I'll do. I think that's what I'll do. We'll see. I could make a photo be a flap to tuck it under, but that wouldn't really work with my idea of having butterfly things on the outside and then the other things on the inside. But I will ponder. I will get the background done on these flaps and get the things glued on, and then come back and show you what I did. All right, I got everything glued down. Unfortunately, my magnets are not strong enough with this many layers of paper. Oh, well, this one works a little bit. Yeah, this side works, but not this side. Too many layers of cardstock. I should have put my magnet on this side, and I put it there. Anyway, so here is how, let's see. These will be folded back in the spine. So it'll look like this. And then open it up, and there's my conversation with my word. Got my side by side right there. And I'm just gonna leave these white. I think that looks all right. And then on the back, I'm gonna make a pocket with this paper and slip my notes that I took to do my conversation inside of there. And then I'm gonna just leave it blank because she gave the option to write a poem, and I might still do that, but not yet. So I'm not ready to do that yet, but I'll leave this blank and maybe I'll do it. So let's make this a pocket. Do I like the decoration? You know, I thought I was gonna like outline things and stuff, but I think I'm just gonna leave it as it is and call it good. So now I need to get my holes punched and put it in my book. So I'm using this Simple Stories flip book. And so it's got this, this style of binding. So I just took a page protector, and that's how I figured out what size to make my pages to. Because it's got a wider, well, maybe, there we go. It's got a wider edge for the holes than a regular page protector. So I had to make my pages a little bit wider. So I'm just gonna mark where these holes are. And I've got this We Are punch. I think the holes, let's see, I think are 1/4 inch. All right. So there's that. And this. And then I'll just fold up those papers and slide them in here, and I'm done for March's prompt. April's I'm working on too. So anyway, that does it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.